Hi there, Gemini. Thank you for joining me for your weekly forecast for week commencing the 28th of April. The desire side of your nature is really turned up to max still. And it doesn't really matter what you want. We're all different, but you could be driven by some quite subconscious needs. And this is partly because the Sun and Mercury are continuing to work their way through the hidden part of your scope that is to do with your subconscious. Now there is a solar eclipse which occurs on Tuesday, providing a backdrop of energy for the next 6 months, but it forges a very interesting link with Neptune, the planet of dreams, which is in the part of your horoscope governing what you do for a living and how you link with the world at large, and also how people see you. And I think it's possible that people are going to see you in a different light over this next half year. They're going to see someone who's going to be evolving, understanding a lot more about what makes themselves tick. So that's the opportunity for you. Because in the past, I do feel there have been times when you've been a little bit mental in your approach, a little bit cerebral at times when maybe you needed to let in your senses more. And that really is the trick, balancing the two areas. But that doesn't mean to say you shouldn't be factual this week, because your ruler is forging a superlink with Pluto in the first half of the week. In the second half of the week, unfortunately, it is clashing with Saturn. And I think if there is something that's worrying you, it could become quite bothersome in the last few days. But there is much more chance of this happening if you don't take the time to work things out. And I think it's possible you may be discovering that some of the people you thought were close alliances and buddies may actually have very different values to you. It doesn't make them really wrong, although you may see it in a wrong or right way at the moment. But by the end of this week, you may have to process the events that have occurred in April, which have perhaps surprised you in some way. You may find yourself in a new camp with people who inspire you a lot more, and some of the people who used to be important seem to have a lot less currency for you. But there is one piece of really good news for you, and that occurs on Friday when Venus makes its way into the most sociable part of your horoscope. So if there have been some people who've disappointed you, or there are this week, and you discover that you have a fair weather friend in your circle, I think the people who really are there for you are going to show it fulsomely, and that's going to be a lovely warming feeling. And in a romantic context, if you're in a basically good tie, the move of Venus asks you to celebrate the things you have in common, not keep focusing on the things that you don't have so much in common. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Thank you for joining me. Good luck, and goodbye for now.